You know, the House of Creed really holds a special place in my heart. Even though I don't reach for them anymore, even though I don't really purchase that many Creed fragrances anymore, granted I have the majority of them, but I'm not hunting for deals like I used to. They were really a brand that kickstarted my niche fragrance collection. You know, I got into them and it was almost like a rabbit hole. I just started going down and just getting obsessed and going after all these old vintage batches and discontinued, hard to find stuff. I had a lot of fun collecting my Creeds. And again, they're just a brand that I really have a lot of love for deep down, even though I don't really express it here on the channel and I don't really reach for a lot of their offerings anymore except for a couple of them. But almost 2 years ago exactly, in November of 2018, I did a video on my top 10 favorite Creed fragrances, and I figured now would be a time to go ahead and update that video, see what has changed since then, see how my taste has gone towards these Creeds in about the span of 2 years. So if you like seeing fragrance videos like this, make sure you get subscribed down below. That ensures that you are delivered this content on a daily basis. And also while you're at it, give me a follow over on Instagram. I really do appreciate it. And if you want to connect with me over there, send me a message, ask me a question, and keep in contact with me or whatever, that's a great place to do it. And finally, importantly, I will provide links to all the fragrances I would talk about down below to fragrance discounters. I'll be straight up honest with you. Do not purchase any Creed at retail price. That's an astronomical price for these fragrances. And if you could save a couple $100 on discounters, that's definitely the way to go. So make sure you hit those links down there and check them out. Let's not waste any more time. We're gonna run through this quickly because I actually do have 4 honorable mentions here before we get into the actual top 10. These are honorable mentions because they're great scents, and also because I figured people are gonna be asking about them if I didn't include them in the list anyway. Like I said, these are great scents. They just kind of don't get any attention from me anymore. First one, Original Santal. Really a nice scent. Of course, Creed copied Mont Blanc with this one, which is kind of not a great look, but it is what it is. It's not my favorite. It's a nice, pleasant scent, but I like a lot of these other ones better than this one. Up next, we have Royal Mayfair. I actually really do like Royal Mayfair just from kind of a niche standpoint. It's not going to be for everyone. It's very eucalyptus heavy, but it does smell good. It is unique and it's very high end. Almost kind of smells like royalty, like you would get here in the name. It's a pretty good one. Also, I do believe this might be discontinued, or at least there's something going on for like the past couple years. These bottles have been super cheap. This bottle size, 120 mils, discontinued, and there was a point where you could get this bottle size brand new on discounters for like 100 to 120 bucks, which is a crazy price for a Creed. I'm not sure if they're still at that price, but this was super cheap for one time. It's just main reason was just because it doesn't sell that well. People don't like it as much, and it was very cheap. Might still be, I don't know. Third honorable mention, we have Royal Water. We have an older bottle here. As you can see, a lot of these have the first generation atomizer, so they're older batches. This is a nice one, very clean, very fresh, has a bit of an older school smell to it, at least my older batches do. The newer batches are a bit more clean and citrus heavy. This one kind of has just, I don't know, just this older type of smell to it. I don't want to say a grandma-ish type of smell, but kind of in that same vein for me. Not one of my favorites, but it is a clean, fresh scent. Last honorable mention, we have Royal Oud. Another nice one here, definitely different than most other Creeds, being that this one is not an oud heavy scent like you would think, but more of a cedar wood heavy scent. This is mostly woods with a little bit of oud and spices sprinkled in there. Really nice, really pleasant. It's just one that I don't wear all that often. Starting in with the list, number 10, we have Bois de Portugal with the Creed Erolfa cap on top. Don't mind that. I just wanted to point that out before everyone says that it's a fake. And I have a fake because the cap's a different color. I bought this cap on eBay for like 15 bucks just to have a cap for it, even though it's not the right one. Bois de Portugal apparently was Frank Sinatra's signature scent. Could be true, could not be. I can see that. This is a very classic one. Not really a fougere, but it's definitely older school and more dated. It's a great scent. I mean, look at the color of the fragrance itself. A nice green velvet on the front, and then nice super dark coloring. It's really aged really well, especially with how low the bottle is. It's definitely a classic and not a bad scent. Number 9. This one may surprise you on how low it actually is, but it's Millésime Imperial. One of their more popular summer offerings. It's a beautiful smell. It smells like liquid gold. You've heard that before. Salted watermelons, all that stuff. You know, it's not what it used to be. I had an old batch of it. Unfortunately, I sold it, which I wish I didn't have. I think it's a want to say 2013, 2012 or something like that. This is 2016 or something. I wish I didn't sell it, but it's, like I said, it's not what it used to be. That salted watermelon that it gets compared to doesn't smell like that in this anymore. Still a really nice scent for summer. It just lacks performance and the depth that it once had. Number 8, we have Creed Virgin Island Water. This is actually a 2008 batch. So this is an old one here. This was one of my kind of first vintage Creeds that I picked up, and I fell in love collecting vintage. Such a great scent. This one is, again, aged very well. Just, you guys know Virgin Island Water, this nice rum coconut smell, very tropical. You know, it's one of those things where it smells good, but I almost don't find myself reaching for it that much in the summer because it is on the heavier side. It gets extremely hot and humid here in the summertime, and wearing this and that would be a nightmare. So it just kind of sits, but it is one that I do enjoy the smell of, and every now and then I'll come to it and pick it up and smell it because I do enjoy it. Nice authentic lime note in here. It's a killer. Number 7, we have Silver Mountain Water, the all-white looking bottle. This is a really cool one. Black currant and tea and musk and bergamot are some of the main notes here with this one. The tea in this sets this one apart, and it's incredible. This is what really got me into tea fragrances. This one is a 2016 batch as well. This kind of was back when I was collecting them, so this was new, obviously, at the time I got it in 2016, but is now considered an older batch, which is cool for the batch people out there. A really nice one, very unique, one of the kind of more unique, fresher offerings from Creed, and also one of the best performing fresher offerings from Creed. Milsim Imperial, not the best. Royal Water, not really the best. This one performs pretty good and is, again, one of the better ones in terms of bang for your buck for the fresher Creeds. Number 6, we do have a discontinued or vaulted Creed here. I was kind of like, maybe I should have thrown this in the honorable mentions and, you know, pulled one of the honorable mentions into the list because they're in production, but I thought this wouldn't be my favorite Creeds if I was mismatching stuff around just to make the list. So you're gonna have to live with the fact that this one you can't get anymore and would be super expensive to do it otherwise, but hey, it's my top 10 best favorite Creeds in my collection. This is just what I like. And this one is Green Valley. It made my list in November as well, I do believe, 2 years ago. And it is what it is. Green Valley is a great one here. Like I've said multiple times, this should have been what Green Irish Tweed is. This is, in my opinion, more green and more reminiscent of, like, you know, this one, the story behind this one is his love for playing golf, which smells like the wide open, just green grass, golf fields, just first, as far as the eye can see, just seeing green grass and trees and everything. That's really what this one smells like. It smells like a crisp spring day. This one has a nice black currant, this nice ambergris base like you would expect from Creed. This is a beautiful scent. I don't know why they took it away from us, but it is what it is. And again, it's one of my favorites. Breaking into the top 5, we have one of their more exclusive, more expensive fragrances. This one is Spice and Wood. This is one that I haven't worn in a very long time, but I do really love. Nice birch note in here, kind of like what you'd find in Aventis, although this smells nothing like Aventis. Very woody, very spicy. Simply put, the name describes it well enough for you that I don't really need to. Very expensive and classy smelling. This is one of the more expensive Creed fragrances that I own in terms of smell, like how it smells. I even think this one smells like more luxurious and expensive than Aventis does. Just the way the woods work together in this one with the spices, it smells refined, classy, like a gentleman. This is a really nice one. Number 4, we do have Creed Green Irish Tweed. Just because I was saying that I thought Green Valley should be this doesn't mean I don't like Green Irish Tweed. This is one I've gone back and forth with multiple times. I had 2 120 ml vintage bottles of it. A while ago. I ended up selling them. One I think was a 2011. One was a couple years newer, something along those lines. I don't remember the exact batches, but I had a couple of them, and they were great, but I just didn't really wear them. I ended up selling them, ended up regretting it, and now finally I've gotten around after a couple years to finally grab me another bottle. This one is here to stay. I've wavered back and forth on Green Irish Tweed over the years. Sometimes I like it, sometimes I don't. I've found that 2015 batch like this one and a bit newer, 2015, 2016, 2017 are kind of my favorites because it gets more of that soapiness. My 2000, I think 10 or 11 batch, my oldest one, was ultra green to the point where I almost didn't really like it that much. It was just not wearable for me, but this one kind of strikes a nice balance between green and soapiness. This is a classic fragrance. It smells incredible, and again, it's kind of one of the better performing Creeds. This is a great bang for your buck one, and a great place to start if you just want a classic from Creed. Number 3, we have by far my favorite summer offering from them, you know, the one that is basically engineered and designed just to be worn in the summer. This one has a pretty cool story behind it as well. This one is Erolfa. Like I said, better than Millesime Imperial for me, better than Virgin Island Water for me, better than Royal Water for me. That's just my opinion. This one is one of my favorites. This nice, salty sea breeze type of smell is what this one has. Strong ambergris, lime, bergamot, a bunch of citrus up top, and it just smells so good. Like I said, it kind of smells like you're sailing out in the ocean. You're smelling the sea breeze. You're on an expensive boat. You know, you got your all your people with you or whatever, and you're just out for a fun day on the water with your family, friends, whatever. That's what Erolfa just kind of puts in my head for me. You know, again, just a beautiful scent. I love how this smells for summertime. It takes me back a couple years back to vacations and stuff in the summer, going to the lake, just all that type of fun stuff. This one is a 2011 batch, very nice, very well aged, and one of my favorites. Number 2, we have Creed Viking, one that has really climbed my ranks over the years. When it first came out, this one got a lot of hate because you got to think, this was the first men's release after Aventis, you know, in terms of this line of fragrances, all these Millesime fragrances, the EDPs. This is the first one after Aventis, and you can see the similarity to Aventis in the wrapping right here. You know, how this goes around, the silver right here is similar to Aventis, and I think that did make some people mad because I don't know if they thought that Creed was trying to kind of ride the Aventis success with this one, or I don't know exactly what, but people were mad about that. People were mad about how it smelled. Kind of has an Old Spice categorized scent to it, just kind of an older school, mature smell, which I like. I think this smells great. It has great performance as well. This one is a 2017 batch, 17W01, so it was one of the first you know, batches that was released when it came out. I love this fragrance. It's a great one. You can see the color of this one is this nice, beautiful golden color. This one is really darkened and aged well. I don't know if it really shows up on camera that much, but it's a great scent, very versatile, can be worn for anything. It's a great signature scent. And finally, at number 1, I'm sure if it hasn't been shown yet, this has to be it. This is Creed Aventis. It's not a hype thing for me. Look, if I was trying to hype this fragrance just for my own personal gain, which isn't really anything, I wouldn't own like 1, 2, 3, like 5 or 6 bottles of it. I could just own one and promote it like crazy and, you know, get that gain that I wouldn't get anyway, because I don't see why, you know, you would think that me promoting a fragrance for my own self does anything for me, because it doesn't. I like Aventis because I like Aventis, and it's one that I made a lot of memories with, and for me at this point, it's one that I keep stashed away for special events. When I first got it, and then, you know, when I first got it, actually, I didn't wear it all that much because at the time that was a lot of money for me to spend on a fragrance. You know, that was my first Creed fragrance, and it was, you know, it was quite a bit of money for me at the time, so I didn't wear it that much. As I started to collect more batches and I got a few more bottles, then I started wearing it heavily. I put quite a few dents in multiple of my bottles. This is my newest 19Z01N batch, so it's the reformulated one. It's starting to age in nicely as well with a little bit of a dent in there. Then, you know, I really started wearing it all the time, and it kind of got burnt out a little bit, kind of started to get tired of it. I'm like, look, why am I wearing this so much when I have so many other things I should be wearing? Because, you know, it's getting ridiculous. So now at this point, I'm over kind of the honeymoon phase of this fragrance, and it mostly sits just for special occasions, you know, nice dinners out, nice events and stuff. For example, over the summer, I wore this one to a wedding, right? I wore this actually layered with Rose of Parfums Elysium, and I wore it to a wedding reception, and all of that stuff. And I enjoyed it. You know, it was a nice event, and I decided to break this one out. And I'm not selective with it anymore because I don't want to run out. Trust me, I have a lifetime supply of Aventis at this point. I just do it more for, you know, it's kind of like pulling out like a nice cigar, or, you know, a nice liquor or something on a nice evening. Just kind of you bring it out and enjoy it on a nice event. That's kind of what Aventis is for me these days, and it's one that I just like to create a lot of quality memories with. If I'm wearing it to the store, I don't want to have memories of, ooh, when I think of Aventis, I think of going to Walmart, right? Why would I, I don't want that. I want this, when I smell it, to bring up just great memories and stuff. So that's kind of my thought on Aventis. It's part of the reason why it's up so high is because of the great memories I've associated with it, but also just because I think, in the past 10 years, this is one of the best fragrances that's been released and has definitely created a ton of influence in the community. So guys, that was going to do it for me. That was my top 10 current favorite best Creed fragrances in my collection. If you notice, the trend has kind of moved towards the heavier scents in a way. The freshies, I think in my last video, were more at the top, and some of the heavier stuff is maybe more at the bottom. I don't know for sure. Of course, we had Erolfa at number 3, but the heavier stuff was at the top here because that's kind of where my taste is going. I'm kind of over the aquatics and I'm moving more into stuff with more depth. So let me know your top 10 creeds down below, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And remember, all of these will be linked down below if you want to pick any of them up and save some money. Hit those links down there. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.